Hi. I'm I'm still alive. Unlike the Spider-Man whose suit I am currently wearing, I didn't fucking die. I think it's no secret that Spider-Man has a really recognizable character design, if not, one of the most recognizable character designs in superhero pop culture and just superhero media in general. You see the red and blue. It doesn't even have to have a webbing or any sort of logo on it. As long as it's got, sort of the same, base structure, I feel like it's really easy to tell what Spider-Man looks like no matter who you are. It's just, Spider-Man's got a really timeless costume, and I think anybody from any walk of life can see a picture of what's supposed to be Spider-Man, and they can point at it, and they can be like, yeah, that's Peter Parker, that's Spider-Man. Spider-Man's one of the most popular superheroes of all time, and I like to think, that's in effect that's caused by his character design and the fact that it's so good. And they alter some design aspects to make the suit the way it is. And usually this is done by usually the designers who design these costumes go about it by altering the webbing on a costume. Either they'd make it more messier, like the one I'm wearing right now, or they'd make it more form-fitting and rounded. Usually you get a Spider-Man with more grid-like webs, and usually the messier the webbing gets, the more edgier your Spider-Man's going to be. And if he's got more of a sort of rounded curved webbing look, you're going to get like your Tom Hollands and stuff like that. Same goes for the lenses and logo. Essentially, the pointier and more angular they are, the more edgier and sort of dark your Spider-Man should be portrayed as. But some people don't want to follow this fucking rule, okay? I look at a Spider-Man costume and I make assumptions from what that Spider-Man's gonna be like just because of the way that costume was designed. And you know what? I'm getting angry. I want you to know how angry I am. So I'm gonna take my damn mask off. So basically, we're just gonna be looking at Spider-Man costumes that I don't believe follow this very simple rule. All right, we're gonna start light. All right, and I'm gonna start with a hot take. Because I know a lot of people are gonna fucking come for me for this. But if you hear me out, I feel like you might know what I'm talking about. All right, so this is the Spider-Man PS4 costume, and I'm not gonna nerd out about it. But despite how cool it is, and despite the fact I am puffy painting my old Spider-Man PS4 suit that I got in the beginning of this channel to make the logo, the white parts more shiny, we're gonna ignore that. The suit looks great. I think it looks good. It's got the friendly looking webbing that's not messy. It's not disheveled. The webbing looks nice. It's really grid-like, and the suit sort of portrays this sort of Spider-Man that's kind of like maybe just a little edgy, and just a tiny bit. Like, look at how pointy his logos are. People, when this suit first came out, people were comparing the logo to the black suit, and the common perception of the black suit is Peter goes around in the street and does edgy shit and like dances on street corners and stuff, right? I just think this suit looks a tiny bit too edgy. I mean, maybe if the logo was a bit more rounded and the eyes weren't so pointy, but it's a good suit. I just feel like those two things could be fixed. Because if you play the Insomniac Spider-Man games, you'll find that, this Spider-Man is very much a goofball. And I think the two suits he canonly wears during the story of this game could both be fixed to look a little more, because this he's kind of one of the best interpretations of Peter Parker, and he's not too edgy, he's not too, he's very Peter Parker-y, if you will. Alright, so yes, this is the suit I'm wearing right now. This is the Spider-Man Edge of Time suit. I'm gonna put in proof before I start saying anything. I'm just gonna put in like a quip from the video game.
We're talking about the fabric of reality, not bread mold!
Just get ready to help me!
Bread mold! Sheesh. I cannot believe his crust.
It's all disheveled and shit. It's all, the webbing is all messy and and don't get me wrong, I love this costume. Just like the last one, I would suck this costume's costume penis. Alright, this shit is great. It's good. Alright, it's got light texturing on the blue bits, right? I've always found that, you know, Peter Parker should not have textured fabric because he's fucking poor sometimes. But maybe Peter got a big allowance this month from Aunt May, and he's decided to put brick patterning on his suit. Very cool. But it looks edgy, and when you play this game, the costume colors look a little muddied in most lighting, and I feel like anybody might just look at this, anybody who is familiar with costume design and maybe even just the general perception of person would be like, oh, you might say a swear word. Alright, next one. Don't fucking come for me. One, don't come for me for what I'm about to say, and two, don't come for me because of the low quality image. Yes, alright, I think this suit looks too goddamn edgy. Alright, you see Peter Parker in this in the movie, and he's just he's a big fucking nerd, and you know he makes dumb jokes and fights in some, doesn't make dumb jokes enough, but he makes dumb jokes and he fights crime in this costume, and I feel like this is the type of Spider-Man that would murder somebody intentionally. I mean, look at those eyes. I don't want to generalize, but I mean, look at those eyes. Look at that logo. It's all pointy and shit, you know. And I get it, you know. I've watched the costume behind the scenes for this movie. It's supposed to be a statement. It's supposed to be like Peter Parker is deciding who he is through this costume. And I mean, I get it. But I take one look at doe-eyed Toby Maguire, and I know that motherfucker does not like look like this in his inner soul. Like, come on. All right. Now I know, I get it. Wait. All right. It's a good suit. It's a good fucking suit. Again, I know. I've been cocksucking all the suits. I get it. There is going to be a segment in the video where I shit on costumes. I get it. There's going to be that segment. Okay? But this is not a good suit for a... I've forced myself to put it on this side because I pointed this way, because that's the monitor I'm looking at it on. This is not the suit that a man would wear who is depressed in his 50s and fights crime and hates, you know, his life. Look at it. It's all rainbow and shit, and it's all, the webbing's all rainbow shaped, and he's got like the kind of friendly Spider-Man eyes, and I like it because I think the eyes are good because they're slightly smaller. This is a bad suit for Peter B. Parker. I think it should have looked more like the Ditko suit. Maybe had web wings. And again, if it looked like this, just a little bit, like just borrowed some elements from like messier Spider-Man suits with the webbing and like the logos and like more pointy shit, I feel like it'd be fitting for Peter Parker. And this is a gripe I never see. I never see people talk about, you know, the suit design of this costume. But it is a great costume design for Miles Morales as Peter Parker. He's you know, he's in his early, you know, years. He's doing good. He's fighting crime. He loves what he does. That's his suit. That's him, and that's great. It's got a rounded logo. It's always good. You know, he's friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like Miles Morales is very much a Spider-Man of the people. People on the street connect with Miles, you know. People on the ground of the streets in New York, you know, they connect with him, you know, because he's a kid, you know. He's friendly, and this suit I think implies that, and it's very accurate to the source material, and it doesn't make up any bullshit. It makes up shit, but it's just not bullshit. It's good. All of it's good. Like putting the red on his shoes. I always thought the Miles Morales suit, I always thought the color sort of dropped off near the end of the suit. I didn't like it. I like there's a resurgence of people putting red on Miles' shoes. I like that. I like that a lot. I get it. I am of the opinion. I am on the part of Spider-Man Twitter where people absolutely shit on each other for liking this suit or disliking. I get it. I like this suit, and I think it's good, but I'm not going to let it cloud my judgment, right? Call him basketball man all you want. I don't give a shit, right? In this movie, Spider-Man is given a very much an edgier take. He bullies Flash Thompson once he gets his powers, and he spends a bit of his time in his Spider-Man suit hunting down Uncle Ben's killer. That is not Spider-Man. He becomes Spider-Man when he saves that kid on the bridge. That's the point of the movie where he becomes Spider-Man, right? And I think this is great for that because this suit is edgy. It's you know, it's a little rigid. It's perfect for representing, you know, who Peter was at the beginning of being Spider-Man in this movie timeline, and who, who, like, what is, it's fucking edgy Spider-Man. This movie is edgy Spider-Man. This is edgy fucking Spider-Man in his costume. It's good shit. Alright. Now, yes, this is a good suit, and I hear all the time that this suit is the best Spider-Man suit on screen, and if you say that, I see your point. It's not my favorite. I won't tell you what my favorite is, so I'll get bashed on Twitter.com. Which you can follow me at Kai's Comics. Fuck! No. How does Spider-Man eat shit and not get fucking food on his suit? This is like an art. Alright. I think this suit is great. Alright, it's got the big fucking friendly Spider-Man eyes on it. Yes, the logo is a little more pointy and edgy because the last movie's one was too. But it's Spider-Man, right? I think the colors could be a little brighter, but other than that, it's classic, goofy-looking fucking Spider-Man, right? And I think this movie does a good job of, like, this suit does a good job of, like, representing who he is in the movie. Slightly edgy, but fun and lighthearted too. And yes, this is yes, I could see the guy behind this suit letting a man who is later going to dress up like a rhinoceros run over thousands of people while making jokes with him in the front seat of a car. So the start of this video, the reason why I wanted to make this video is because Marvel recently announced a new suit for Spider-Man. It baffles me how this shit made it to print, okay? It fucking scares me. Alright? What the fuck am I looking at? I feel like Marvel is slowly like anybody who's paid to design a Spider-Man suit for Marvel immediately loses all credibility for some fucking reason, because most of them are just bad. They all throw their brains out the window once Marvel starts fucking paying them. I know who's responsible for this. I got in a Twitter argument over it. But why? Why? Yo, look at that shit, man. Alright, here's my opinions. Alright, I'm gonna throw some fucking opinions at you, which I'm sure people will agree with, I hope. If you're gonna design Spider-Man a new costume, either you have to stick very closely to the original costume with colors and standard design choices, or you either have to go as far away from it as possible. Alright? Like, this suit is right in the middle. It makes new shit, and it borrows from the old design choices, and it looks like liquid fucking ass, alright? Like, for example, suits that don't deviate too far from the norm. Like that one Spider-Man suit that he wore, it had like SHIELD branding on it and shit. I'll put a picture up. That's good. That's a good fucking suit. Right? There's like a spectrum. Right? You have the SHIELD Spider-Man suit that I mentioned before. And then you have some far-off zany suit that makes new colors and does new shit. Like, Spider-Man Big Time. The green one, right? You ever see fucking green on Spider-Man? What the fuck? You know? It's good. This suit is right in the fucking middle. Like, you've got, like, the original Spider-Man costume you've got this fucking garbage, and then you've got the big times. Like this, it's like a spectrum. You either have to be over here or over here for your costume to at least have a chance at being good. The suit has the sort of patterning of the original Spider-Man costume with where the red would be, where the blue is, and it's too similar. It's too fucking similar. And it's not even that makes it bad. It's the fucking egregious color choices. Like, the color choices are dog shit. I mean, I think the design of the suit is fine. I just think the only thing holding it back is the color choices. Like, I did some recolors on Twitter that are infinitely better than this. I'll put them on screen. Like, you go into that Twitter comment section and everybody is absolutely shitting on it. Like, this costume is ass, and, like, I hope it gets just as much, backlash as, like, the Resurgence Ben Reilly suit when he came back from the dead. Like, why is he flying over the piss river of New York City? Like, I can see New York in the reflection, but why is it in a piss puddle? I'm just starting to think that somebody fucking pissed all over New York City. Why is everything yellow? Even Jameson got some fucking piss on him. I knew that man had a fucking piss king.
I want piss.